I felt very terrible watching the Super Eagles with their fall-on faces last Sunday after Tunisia displaced them and sending our men packing. What were the key issues for you in the overall outing?
I think the we Nigerians we jubilated too early. We are fast becoming like Britons who praise their national team to high heavens, who overpraise their players and want the world to believe that their players are the best. These players and the national team is not as good as Nigerians thought it was. Perhaps we played Egypt on a day that Egypt had a bad day. Perhaps we played them on their bad day. Because after the match against Egypt, all the other matches that we played, we didn't play well. Yes, we were getting results, but we didn't play well. And I complained. If we recall last week, I complained that the team was wasteful in attack. The reason the team was wasteful was also down to the fact that there was no teamwork. Where the player needs to pass to another player who is in a much more advantageous position to score, they will not pass. There was too much selfish football, individual football being played, especially by our attackers. We were solid defensively and in defensive midfield, but in the attack, we lost the game in the attack. And the coaches should have made changes from the first half when it was clear that our wingers, because we were relying too much on wing play, banking so much on Moses Simon. But Moses Simon, every time he had the ball, two players would gang up on him and dispossess him of the ball. But he continued to take them on. Moses should have been drifting infield, making diagonal runs into the midfield to distract the defense and draw the players out of position. But he was playing elementary soccer by continuing to attempt to dribble people who were ganging up on him and giving him extremely close marking. They knew that once they stop him from playing, that our attack will not move. But we continue to send our balls to Moses Simon, and Moses Simon continued to attempt to dribble people, and he kept failing at dribbling them, yet he continued to take them on. Where he needed to pass, he would not pass, he would want to dribble them. Yet they had hemmed him. Two players were constantly hemming him to the byline. So that any touch, the ball will go to throw in. And his colleague on the right flank, Chukwueze, was also being close marked. They were giving him the same attention. So that defense through the midfield, since the wingers were not clicking. But instead, what we saw was Aribo, who was the team's playmaker, playing so deep. You don't need Aribo to play that deep because already Ndidi is one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe. So he kept playing deep. And at the end of the day, those guys knew that all they needed was soak up the pressure, try to catch us on the break, try to get a goal. Once they get a goal, they knew that they will be able to beat us. And that's what they did. They got that early goal. Apparently, the keeper should have done better. They got that early goal, and they defended stoutly and made sure that they screened their goalkeeper sufficiently. So I think that technically we just were not good enough. And I had the coach even praising the Tunisians that they were a very tactical team. So your own team, what were you? That means you are not tactical.
All right, Vicky, I think
So we need to realize now that we are not as good as we think we are. We deceived ourselves believing that we were such a great team. Now we have to focus on Ghana in the two-legged World Cup playoff. Because if we are unable to overcome Ghana and we don't go for the World Cup, it will be terrible. Because World Cups are played every 4 years. So it means that this generation of fantastic Super Eagles players may not even get a chance to represent their national team at the level of the World Cup, which is the biggest stage of all. So we must do our best. Ghana too had a terrible Nations Cup, which means they will be determined to correct that.
All right, Vicky, let me.
So we have to go back, look at the mistakes that we have made, and correct those mistakes and stop deceiving ourselves that we are a great team.